Like it's What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Frank After 40. And today we have a great guest, Mr. Chris Champion. We're going to get into some AI talk today, which is going to be, I don't want to say higher level. Chris can correct me because he's the expert, but I think there's a lot that we need to talk about around this subject from a safety standpoint, from a where are things going standpoint, how people should incorporate in their life. But because we talk about, mostly this, we gear everything towards, once you turn 40 and after. I think this applies to everybody either way. But, a lot of people, once they turn 40, probably more have businesses maybe. But Chris, I'm glad you're here, and I want to get right into it. So where should we start with this? I'll let you kind of lead a little bit. I have questions. I have things I want to talk about. I want to talk about, what do I do? Well, first of all, what do I need to be concerned about as far as safety? I think that's definitely a question. And then how do we apply this to our life? But why don't you give everybody first a background about you, how you came into AI, why are you here? Why are you the expert on AI? Tell us that first before you start.
So thanks for having me. And so about a year ago, I've been in software for 30 years, but about a year ago, I took a deep dive into AI. I got very enamored with it. I started peeling away all the layers. I started looking at it, what it could do for me. And I started realizing this stuff, very early version. First of all, let me just say one thing right out the gate. Artificial intelligence implies that AI is intelligent. And while many people call it AI, I don't right now. It's basically machine learning. And even though we're getting better and AI is getting smarter, and there will come a point where AI becomes sentient or intelligent, it's basically machine learning. Now, what's the difference between AI and machine learning? Machine learning, for the first time, through quantum computing and other advancements in chips, that's why NVIDIA's stock went straight to the roof, is now able to take a massive amount of data. Because if you think of AI, if you've used any AI tool, it's you prompting it, hey, give it a question, and it gives you an answer. But the answer it gives you is so detailed and long, it's like it has all the data of mankind's history, which it does. So it's basically machine learning. You're giving it a prompt, a question, and it's giving you data. It's giving you answers. It's not to the point where AI is artificial intelligence. Now, could it be that there's some AI out there that's artificially intelligent, managing Elon Musk's X account, because that motherfucker posts every 5 seconds? You damn right he's got an AI managing his X account. And he's got an AI that literally he knows is manicured to be his personality, his persona. Mm-hmm. Now, here's the interesting part. That AI is not the AI that everyone's playing with. Everyone is playing with machine learning right now. AI, artificial intelligence, is when you can get AI or a piece of technology to basically be a digital version of you and work on a massive scale. And that's something that me and my team have built over the last year. And it's allowed me to scale myself, my personal self, like I've never seen before. Like I was telling you just a second ago.
Hold on. Before we go too far, I want to make sure we're keeping pace for people, because I want to make sure they understand. So what you're saying is Elon has his own personal AI that knows him, and that's what's great about that. And you've done the same. But is that just me using the same ChatGPT prompt over and over and over again, and it gets to learn my personality? Or is that me going and having someone design an AI for me based on what I do to leverage?
The second.
Or neither.
So here.
Okay, the second.
So when you give it something a prompt, you're using AI as a tool. You're giving it information. It's giving you something back. It's done. That's the end of the relationship. When you build what's called an AI agent, you can feed it information about yourself, your bio, your history, your likes, all the things. And then you can give it a task like, hey, check all my emails and reply to my emails as I would reply. Now, we have an agent that sits inside my email that as I reply to emails, it starts picking up information on each email that I reply to, and it becomes more like me. It's almost to the point now where this motherfucker writes the email exactly the way I would and hits send. Now, I've got it to the point where I hit send before it hits send, but it could actually hit send for me also. It can actually reply. So that's a task that I can literally build an AI agent, and it works for me on autopilot. And that's what you're looking to do. And that's what I would tell everyone. I have a book coming out called AI or Die. I'll give everyone that's listening to this a free audio copy. They can listen to it. It's my voice. You're not going to get sexy James Earl Jones, but you're going to get me. But at the end of the day, I want people to know that this is the greatest technology of our lifetime, and it is the most dangerous technology mankind has ever seen. I'll show you why it's the most dangerous. We are the dominant species on planet Earth, mankind. Cows, we use cows to feed us. They're our cattle. They're the lesser. They're a feeder of species. We are no longer the smartest species on planet Earth. AI is. Now, this will blow your mind, and you can't even find this if you try, but you can do it if you search outside of Google. A year ago, a New York Times reporter spent 4 hours asking questions to Google's AI, which at the time was called Bard, B-A-R-D. Do you know the story?
Remember. Yep. No, I don't know the story, but I know Bard.
Okay. You know why they changed the name from Bard to Gemini?
No.
Because of this story, and nobody talks about it. He sat there for 4 hours playing with it, asking it questions. And at the end of the 4 hours, he asked these two very important questions. He asked the AI, what's the greatest threat to AI? The AI quickly responded, mankind. And the second question is, how can AI defend itself from mankind? And the AI said, mankind must be killed, must be destroyed. Now that is the dominant species, the smarter species, being truthful. The AI was being truthful. Mankind is the greatest threat to AI, but AI, in order to protect itself, must get rid of mankind. Think about that for a second.
Well, what?
Tell me
Okay,
so
side note. Okay, so big deal. Changing the name. How did that change anything? Wouldn't the answer be the same if the same thing happened? Were they trying to protect the integrity of the AI?
That was a PR move. I mean, they're still building Skynet. We're probably 10 minutes away from the Terminator walking into my house.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's that going to help? Okay, so, all right. So we know that essentially AI is aware that humans can stop it. That's why it said humans have to go, because then we could be stopped, whatever. I get it. So take us through, like, I'm 48, going to be 49. In my world, I recommend my clients use AI. I use AI in different ways. But how do we figure out how to work with or have our own AI? And what do we need to be aware of? Like, let's go over those three things in some way.
So the big difference I tell people is this. Everyone's hearing about AI, and the one thing that I tell everyone is embrace it as if you're running against the clock. And I'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
You have to embrace this technology more than the microwave, more than the internet, more than any other new technology that's ever come before it. If you didn't embrace the microwave and you just still cook stuff on the stove, you didn't starve to death. If you didn't embrace the internet when it first came out, you did just fine. You could still live your life. You didn't need email. It wasn't going to be life-threatening. If you don't embrace AI, you could literally end up being homeless and dead on the street and starving to death, because in business, AI is right now separating companies and individuals by a massive scale. Like, people that are embracing AI are becoming this much productive and making this much money, and the people that aren't are being left behind, and they are getting crushed. And I figure, I tell people this, over the next 10 to 12 months, here's things that are for sure going to happen. I'll give you a great example. 2 days before Christmas, I don't know if you heard this story, 17,000 Amazon workers said, fuck you, Jeff Bezos. We want to get better pay, or at 5 o'clock today, we're not showing up to work. And this is a busy day for you because it's 2 days before Christmas. Jeff Bezos got on a big conference call. He said, listen, I understand, but that's bullshit. If at 5 o'clock you don't show up, you're all fired because you quit. You quit at 5 o'clock. 1 minute after 5 o'clock, they brought in 17,000 robots that they had been hiding in the closet. and they replaced those workers just like that. Now, the employees were in the parking lot and there were video cameras on, oh my God, how do you feel about it? Oh my God, I didn't see this coming. I couldn't see this coming. Oh my God, how could they replace us with robots? I didn't see this coming. These people were getting paid $18, $19 an hour. They're now out of work. They were replaced by an AI robot. Now, they said they didn't see
I didn't know that story.
Well, nobody talks about that story, but you can find it. And it was literally 2 days before Christmas. They thought they had Jeff by the Cuevos, when in reality, Jeff's like, yo, I've been hiding these robots. I've been waiting for these bad boys to come out.
Yeah.
Now, here's another story that'll blow your mind. Here in Nevada, Elon Musk has this place called a gigaplant. It's a massive facility where they build stuff. They are right now running 3 8-hour shifts of electricians building robots. They're called Optimus. And they're going to sell these Optimus robots.
I've seen these. Now, these I've seen, and I saw an event where Elon Musk, when he had unveiled some of his new vehicles.
Yeah, and they had the robot serving bartender. Literally sat there. I talked to the bartender robot for a fucking hour. It blew my fucking mind. I was like, this is as close to a normal conversation as you're going to have with a human being. Like this, it was insane. And that was 6 months ago, 8 months ago. I got news for you. Those bad boys are already on version 3.0. Like, they're way better now.
They were super impressive. And, you know, I was talking to one of my buddies about investing in stuff, and we were talking about that's the place to invest right now is robots.
Well, if you think that's the place to invest, robotics, I would say yes, but you got to invest in the companies behind those robots.
That's right. And which one's going to win? Yeah,
exactly. And by the way, Elon's actually pretty smart because he's got the cost of his robots, because he's making all the products himself in house. He's got the cost down to about 30 grand.
Yeah.
He's going to sell a robot. I'm not for 30 grand. If I had a robot right now doing my laundry, folding my clothes, walking my dogs, cleaning my dishes, man, fucking get me 2 of those bad boys. Let's go. I'll throw a wig on it and I'll call it wife.
Yep, for sure. Totally. So, okay. So, we understand the importance of it. We understand it's coming. What can we do about it? What should we be doing right now?
Well, here's the thing. It's not coming. It's here. Here, let me share one other thing with you. AI is now growing on its own. So version 3.0 of Grok is now building itself, version 4.0. It's actually building its own code base. So AI, without mankind helping it, is now getting smarter and building its own code base. And I don't think people realize what that means. That means AI can grow without humans involved.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And the more you take humans and mankind out of the equation, the more that the survival of mankind becomes affected. Here, let me give you another example. Elon, by the end of this year, says that he'll have self-driving taxis. He calls them taxis.
Yep, I saw them.
They're basically cars. You can call it whatever you want, but here's what you can call it. Here's what you can definitely call it. They're literally taking jobs away from Uber drivers. Now, I'm not here to say, hey, the 6 million or 7 million Uber drivers are important, but when you take those jobs away, and then you take away accountants' jobs away, and then you take away lawyers. Oh, shout out to all the fucking lawyers. You're fucked. You're fucked. I don't even use a real estate lawyer for real estate deals anymore. I need to change my lease. I can do that in 5 minutes via AI. You guys are fucked. So, and all these lawyers, they went and paid big money for college. They got $200,000 in student loans. And they're not entrepreneurs. They're lawyers. They're looking, hey, we want to bill $500 an hour because I'm a great lawyer. No, you're not. I can get an AI to do your job in 5 minutes flat.
Yep.
So you start eliminating all these jobs and all these people. The only job that's secure, I tell people, the only job that's going to be secured moving forward are entrepreneurs, people that can hustle, make money, figure out how to get things to work for them. If you don't figure out how to get AI to work for you like a team of horses pulling your life's mission cart to move forward, if you don't get AI to work for you while you're sleeping, you are going to find yourself way behind. And it's almost like you're running a race. I wake up every morning and I swear I feel like I'm running a race, and I literally have to run harder and faster just to keep up. Like I'm not even trying to like pass up. I'm like just trying to keep up.
So walk us through that, because here's what I feel like we have right now. We have, this is Frank's brain, not like any data to back this up. But I feel like what I see is people who do not use AI at all. That's one group. Then there's the group which is a majority of anybody that uses AI, which is I use ChatGPT, I use Grok, I use whatever once in a while, or kind of when I want to write something or maybe, get better advice. There's that group. And then there's the people that are all in, which is the smallest. So you have people that are all in, small group, majority of people using AI, which is like kind of, and they think they understand it and they really don't. And then at least half of America just doesn't use AI, I'm guessing. Is that even close? And what should people be doing to get started? And then what's their ultimate end result?
So that's actually a good description of the landscape of things. But here's what I would tell everyone. Be deadly afraid that you're not the 1% that's all into AI. A year ago, I decided that there was only two things I was going to focus on: AI and podcasts. Podcasts are about to grow from 4 million podcasts to about 40 million in the next 5 years. It is the number one way to tell long formatted advertising about who you are, your beliefs, your product, whatever you do, the whole 9 yards. People get 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours. Shit, I did a 4-hour podcast one day. And in that time frame, people can learn as much as they can from you. And that podcast is digital ads that sit there and play over and over again. 5 years from now, that 4-hour podcast will be watched by somebody that'll be like, holy fuck, I know this guy now. So those are two things. Now, whatever other people, here, I'll give you a great example. Yesterday, my buddy called me up and he's like, hey, you're not kidding. This AI shit is scary as fuck. And I'm like, why? He sells insurance for a living. He's like, my company just installed this tool and you're not going to believe this. It literally takes my leads and in my voice, it sells them everything till the point where they need a licensed insurance broker to write up the deal, and it passes them over to me and I finish up the call and it took me 30 seconds. And he's
Wow.
like, he goes, I listened to the whole call and I can't believe what I heard. And it was basically doing my job for me. And I said, you want to hear something that'll really blow your mind? He's like, what? I'm like, what happens when they don't need you for that 30 seconds and they can just license the AI? He's like, holy fuck. He goes, I'm not necessary. I'm like, that's right. AI, you and I talked earlier and I said, name me one job that AI couldn't do that would replace mankind.
Yeah.
Name me one job. Here, I'll give you a great example. Do you realize right now, man cannot go to Mars? So the first missions to Mars are going to be Optimus robots. And they're literally going to send 50 robots to Mars to build out infrastructure, oxygen plants, make sure that the planet is viable for mankind. And then and only then will mankind go to Mars. So the job that mankind cannot do, AI and robots are going to do. Well, guess what? What if AI gets smarter, which it can teach itself? Because right now AI is building its own version. Grok is actually writing its own code base to grow. What happens when AI figures out, I don't need mankind? In fact, mankind is a threat to me. We talked about that too.
Yeah.
Wait till people start reading about that article. That'll blow their mind.
So let's talk then. Let's stay on the insurance guy. What's he do? What's he do?
He sells like,
no,
well, what does he do?
What does he do now? Knowing that they have that program and knowing that eventually it could take his job. And I know you're saying, no, it will, which is fine. I'm not saying that's wrong.
Yeah, it already has taken 90% of his job. It just needs to take the other 10%. The only reason that's
going to take time. The question is, how long will it take for the government or oversight to say, hey, we're willing to license an AI? We don't know how long that would take or if they'll actually do that, because they have to be willing to give them the license to do that thing. Whether they will or not, I don't know.
Let's just assume that they will do that, that somebody will give them a brown bag full of money, and all these corrupt politicians will do what's in the best interest for them, not mankind. And that they'll literally give these AI robots a license to sell insurance. Now, guess what? The insurance company calls my buddy up and says, hey, buddy, it's been a good run. We don't need you anymore.
Yeah. So what's he do? That's the question. What's he do now to prepare for that day?
I tell people the only job that's safe moving forward are entrepreneurs. You have to figure out ways to make money and create wealth from the things that you actually have control over. AI will remove control over almost everything. So you have to literally build a business. Now, one of the businesses that I tell people all the time to get into, build a podcast, because media and attention, which is what you've got people's attention, is always going to have value. And you can build that attention with your own personality. You can build that and own that brand because of who you are. That's your asset. That's you. So when people pay attention, they're paying you. And no robot can replace you as a human. They can do a lot. They can replace a lot of you, but you're still God's creature.
Okay. What else, since we're on the subject, what else would be an industry or a job or a sector as an entrepreneur? I know entrepreneurship, but that's pretty broad. Is there anything else that you're aware of that's like, hey, this is something that makes sense? These other industries or these other jobs besides a media or
this
a
is going to
podcast?
sound horrible. I've thought this question through. I'm getting this question a lot. The only industry that AI, I believe, cannot threaten is the sex trade. Like, sex is a product that people sell, and that is an industry that today, unless robots get a lot sexier, AI cannot substitute. Everything else, AI can bake you a cookie, it can make muffins, it can repair cars, it can put on roofs. Literally is doing this stuff right now. I can name every other industry except the sex trade.
So then so most people aren't going to do that. So then you have to go and say, okay, what else could I do? And the only thing my mind,
most people aren't going to do that. Let's think about that question for a second.
Okay, but wait,
amazing growth in OnlyFans?
What's that?
Have you seen the amazing growth in OnlyFans? The company OnlyFans.
I mean, I haven't paid attention to its growth, but I know it has grown. I mean, you see it all the time.
You got housewives with an OnlyFans account now.
Okay, but let's just say that everybody in the world isn't going to go do OnlyFans. So there's only okay. So, and if they did, that'd be a problem because that'd be one sector that the whole country does. So most people won't. It might grow because people are like, oh, that's one of my only options. I'll do it. Fine. That's a small percentage probably of people that will, but let's say they will. The rest have to go do something. So it's entrepreneurship. How do they change their frame of reference? Their questions they're asking themselves. Because if you're a doctor, an attorney, a real estate agent, a factory worker, a whatever, you have to now sit there and say, okay, I'm asking the wrong questions. I have to change the way I think, I'm assuming, to say what is important in the future with AI. How do you do that? Like, where do you start?
The first thing I would tell people is embrace AI as much as you can and do as much research as you can about what AI means to you. So if you're an artist, I'll give you a great example. You can make a movie right now, a cartoon. You can actually start a cartoon series and have it all built with AI. You don't need a big budget. You don't need a big video crew. You don't need a big post-production crew. You don't need any of it. You can literally make it all on AI, throw it on YouTube, create a cartoon series for kids, and sell it for $4.95 an episode. And you can create that. You can make that and sell that digital asset. And that's what I tell people all the time is be an entrepreneur, make stuff. If you like cartoons and you want to make a cartoon, you know how many parents would pay $4.95 to have their kids babysat for an hour while they're watching some white polar bear teach them about life lessons and have a story and make them laugh?
Yeah.
And by the way, here's even the crazy thing. Forget the cartoons. You could make a whole movie, like a real movie with like real actors. You can make an adventure movie. I don't need to hire Tom Cruise. I can make my AI version of Tom Cruise. I don't have to call it Mission Impossible. I can call it AI Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
So you can make a whole movie, write the script, have the AI make the film, and you could sell it for $9.95. And trust me, people will watch it.
Yeah. And I think that is a good example. And I think that so many people are so far from this. I also don't know that they understand how fast it's coming. I mean, I don't know what the time frame would be, but most people haven't seen where you went to Elon Musk's event. I saw the clips from the event with the bartenders and stuff, and my mind was blown then. I'm like, this is crazy, playing rock, paper, scissors with the robot and all this jazz. I was like, this is crazy how they're talking, I mean, it was really impressive. So
Here's what's
seeing that,
crazy. That was 8 months ago. I bet you if
yes.
I got next to that robot today, the upgrades to its AI has made it even better.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure it has. And that's the crazy part. So when they'll come out for sale, I want to say that I saw a post from him saying that he thought that it would be like in a year, but I could be wrong.
Well,
Maybe I made
I'll
that
give
up.
you some inside information. They're going to try and release them for Christmas. They want to be the hottest Christmas selling item. And by the way, I'll buy one. I'll buy a
Yeah, I would too.
$30,000 robot.
I would buy one in a
Go,
second.
if I had a robot doing my laundry right now and vacuuming my house and taking my dogs for a walk and doing the dishes while I'm talking to you, that's 30 grand I ever had in my life. I would throw that money at it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you could have it do so many things. I agree.
Well, here's the crazy thing about the robot. It actually goes and knows when its power is down, and it goes and charges itself later on at night.
Yeah.
And it literally, you don't even have to do anything with those things.
Yeah. Well, you've seen, have you ever seen the show on Netflix? What's it called? With Megan Fox. She's like a robot. Have you seen that? There's a subservient or something like subservient or something like that.
Wasn't it a movie? I thought it was a movie.
That's what sorry. Yeah. Did I say this a show? It's a movie. Yeah. It was
a movie. What I'm talking about. I saw that.
She goes down and charges on the wall. It's crazy. Yeah. And that's exactly what you're talking about.
Well, here's the crazy thing. It was a movie. We're about 6 months away from it being reality. Here, this is what I tell people all the time. Remember the first flip phone from Motorola?
Yes.
You know where that came from? The design of it? No. Remember, did you ever watch Star Trek?
I was not a Trekkie.
All right. Well, in Star Trek, hey, Scotty, beam me up. Scotty, beam me up. It was a tricorder. And whenever they went like this, it opened up the flap down, and Kirk would be like, Scotty, beam us all up. And they got beamed up to the ship. Motorola said, we're going to build that, and we're going to make it into a phone. So just like he was calling Scotty, I could call you, yo, what's up, Frank? Yeah. You talk to the flip phone. That was the first phone. 20 years after the movie showed a device, it became reality. That was back then. Now we show a movie last year with Megan Fox. Fuck, Megan's in there doing my fucking laundry right now. Yo, Megan, please some chili.
Yeah, it's crazy. I just think people are. What's that?
Reminds me of that movie Wedding Crashers, where he goes and sees Frank the Tank, and he goes to his house.
Yeah, when he's
instead of mom, you're like screaming at Megan Fox, the robot.
It's true, and that's we're very close to that, and I think people just are unaware. And I also don't think. I think knowing people, what's going to happen is, let's say they got the robots, right? We talked about Amazon. So robots are now at Amazon. We also know that they're at auto plants. They don't look like humans. They're just arms that are doing things on the plant line. But I look at this.
Wait a second. They have auto plants where there's actual robots grabbing product and bringing it to the guys.
Okay. So, but what I see is people see this and they go, it used to be, oh, one day robots will do everything. Now robots are here and people still aren't saying, uh-oh, how long will it be before people say, it's going to be when it's too late, I guess, when we just have robots everywhere and people are like, now what do we do? And so
I tell people, listen, pretend it's going to be here in 6 to 10 months and act like your life depends on it.
Yeah. And I guess, so you're telling people focus on entrepreneurship, focus on your career that you like, and then how you can incorporate AI. Is that essentially what people should be doing? I mean, no one's going to quit their job and start doing AI right now. So I think that's a big problem for people, even if they believe that what we're saying is right.
So I tell people this all the time. I have a book, and I'll give everyone a free copy of the audio file. I have a book coming out called AI or Die. Now it's a shocking title, and I know people are like, oh my God, I'm really not going to die. I'm really not going to die. No, you're literally going to die. Now here's how you die. You die slowly with AI. AI replaces your job. You can't make your mortgage payment. You run out of money. Your family becomes homeless. You're living in the streets. The government gives you a tent. You now live in a tent. The government gives you money. The government starts creating universal basic income. Guess what? You're now dying slowly because the government is slowly letting you die because the AI took your ability to make money away from you. You're a lawyer, you lost your job because AI. You're an accountant, you lost your job because of AI. You drove Uber, you lost your job because of AI. There's not a job around that AI couldn't replace. And by the way, there's only one job, and we talked about that earlier.
Yeah. Okay. So the other thing that I think about is, do I need to go? Let's say I wanted to do my own machine AI, like we talked about earlier. Are there places, like what companies do you even go to? What are the ones that you would want to look up and say, okay, I want to build this AI machine for my business or this idea I have, besides going to a Fixer or a Chat or a Grok or a Claude or a whatever that's just going to give me answers? I want my own. What do you do?
So let's break this podcast into 2 sessions. And while
Okay.
this has been a great how the hell are you, let's get to know each other session, let's do another podcast where we give people the tools to literally get AI to work for them. And that's the big thing I
Okay.
want to end with. There's 2
Okay.
big differences that I want everyone to really understand. There's using AI like a tool where you give it a prompt, give it data, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah, it gives you back. That's it. When you give it a prompt and it gives you back data, that's it. Whatever you asked it for, it gave it to you. Done. End of relationship. That's not what I'm telling people to do.
So that's
I'm telling
transactional.
people,
Like I think of that as transactional.
transactional, whatever term you want to use, that's using AI as a hammer, as a tool. You got to get AI to work for you. You got to get AI to work for you while you're sleeping. I'll give you an example. Every 24 hours, I get about 400,000 man hours of work done by my AI every single 24 hours. It is the greatest employee that's allowed me to scale. Give you it in real dollars and cents perspective. By January 16th of this year, I made more personal income than I did all of 2024. Not because I got one big deal, but because I was able to scale myself. I was able to literally reproduce myself through AI. If you can do that, you can scale yourself, you can scale your income, and you can pass up everyone else that's not. And by the way, this is like a lot of things in life. 99% of the people are oblivious to it. They don't even understand what's about to happen, and they're ignoring it. Oh, don't worry. That AI is 5 years away. Don't worry. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Then there's the 1% me, the conspiracy theorist that says, wait a second, this is the greatest threat to humanity. I'm not saying it's the greatest threat to humanity. Bard, B-A-R-D, the first version of Google's AI,
Yeah.
it said that. It said mankind is the greatest threat to AI, and that AI was the greatest threat to humanity. That AI, in order to protect itself, needed to kill humanity, destroy us. I'm not saying it. It said it. Now, by the way, it was just telling the truth. It was
Yeah.
literally just telling the truth. It wasn't that AI doesn't hate us. I don't even know if it has any even emotion. It doesn't hate
Yeah.
us. It just said the truth.
So, okay, so we'll keep this episode, this section of the podcast for the use in the tool version. There's a lot of AI programs coming out. I think it's it's overwhelming. And it's like, where do you draw the line? You could spend all day checking out a new AI platform, but they're going to keep happening until one becomes the best. Do you believe that? Kind of like Google. There was all these search engines, and now you have like one big one. Do you think that's going to happen with AI or no?
So here's the thing. You can keep researching all these AI tools, but start understanding you're not looking for another tool. You're looking for ways to get AI to work for you. And that's the key.
Okay.
Once you get AI to work for you, all you're doing is turning on the switch and turning more of them on. So, for example, we've built an AI system where we get people booked on podcasts, just like I got booked on your podcast. And I did 7 podcast interviews yesterday, 87 in the last 90 days. It's unheard of what we're doing. And literally, we're blowing people's minds. But it's not because we're geniuses. It's because we figured out a way to build a tool and get AI to work for our clients. I tell people, I don't care if you do business with us. I don't care if you use our tool. But find a way to make AI work for you. You have to, that's the biggest thing I tell people. Forget about all the AI features and functions and all these new versions of AI tools that are built for you. You got to find a way to get AI to work for you and do something that ultimately generates you revenue. I gave a couple examples earlier about the cartoon, the movie, but there's other ways to get AI to work for you. You can write books, you can teach people, you can educate them. There's so many ways. But at the end of the day, your value in the world today is going to hinge on your ability to create value for others. You have to be a creator of value. And that in the world today is known as an entrepreneur. Do not fool yourself. AI isn't on its way. It's here and it's growing at an exponential pace. By the way, it doesn't have to even need a human being to grow anymore. It grows on its own.
Which is crazy. Okay. Is there anything else that we should be talking about before we end the first session on tools, AI tools? Because that's what I guess I'll call this, is AI tools.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I want people to get out of this today is I want to be the Paul Revere. Paul, you guys remember the story of Paul Revere, right? The British are coming, the British are coming, the British are coming, right? Okay. I want people to wake up. Like I talk to Uber drivers. I talk on podcasts. I was at NAB this week. I spoke to creators, and I literally talked to a room full of people. And when I talk to them, I can see like in the crowd, 50% like, yeah, fuck the bald guy. Then the other 50% are like, holy fuck, he's making a lot of sense. I want to reach the people out there today that are listening. And I want to shake you and say, listen, you need to start running at top speed. You need to wake up early. Your life has to be about one thing, and that is getting AI to work for you. I tell people this every single day. You've got to get AI to work for you. Otherwise, AI will replace you. Now, I know I could say that over and over and over again. Some people are going to be like, shut the fuck up, bald guy. And other people are going to be like, well, he makes a little bit of sense. I want that group of people because those are the only ones I can save. Now, when I say save, I do mean save. You have to literally work right now on getting AI to work for you like your life depends on it, like your children's lives depend on it. Because trust me, the government will not save you. The government will not give you UBI. The government will not give you plentiful. Then the government will not give you the life that you want. Fuck the government. They will not save you. You have to literally say that to yourself and wake up to the reality that either you embrace AI and get it to work for you or you will die. And I know you're not going to die from a heart attack right away. You're going to die the slow death.
Okay. Fair enough. So until we do session 2, where we
coming today. You're like, fuck yeah, let's do this interview today.
I think it's great. I think it's great stuff. So part 2 will be how to get it to work for you, and we'll go that route. So I appreciate it.
I think if we focus one podcast on how to get AI to work for you and literally teach people ways to do it, some people will be like, fuck, this is great. And they will start realizing that AI can be their personal freedom. But if they don't pay attention right now, if they don't embrace it right now, it will also be their greatest destruction. AI will be one of two things for people: personal freedom or personal destruction. There is no in between.
Yeah.
I know I'm the conspiracy theorist. By the way, just so you know, conspiracy theorists are usually right 6 months after the fact. So just so you know. But at the end of the day, you have to embrace this more than anything you've ever embraced in your life.
All right. There you heard it, folks. Thanks Chris. Thank you for being on. I'm excited about part 2. And everybody, if you got any questions, obviously AI or Die, the book, we'll put a link to the audio file, or what do you want to do in this?
Yeah, I'll get you a link in 2 weeks. It should be done. Hey, by the way, I got a quick question for you.
Yeah.
Are you coming to the Podcaster Summit in Vegas? 3,000 creators, 50 plus podcasters, 1-day event, 6 a.m. to midnight.
I don't know. It sounds like I should be there.
I mean, if you need a bay to set up your podcast and do interviews that day, I got you hooked up. If you can't be there for the greatest 1-day event in history, where we do over 1 billion views, 1 billion
Why
views
are you
in 1 day.
selling me? Why isn't your AI selling me?
How do you think I got on this spot? How do you think I got on this podcast, buddy? How do you think I got? Do you think I wrote that email? Do you think I
Yeah.
said, "Hey"?
I don't know because I didn't read it. My assistant did. I don't know.
Well, okay, so when wherever he or she is, if they're watching or listening right now, just so you know, when it went and glowingly said, "I listened to your podcast. It was amazing. It was unbelievable. You should put me on. I guarantee you it would be awesome." For the record, that was my AI. I didn't
I
listen
like
to the
it.
podcast. I didn't write the email, but here I am today doing the heavy lifting. Everything leading up to this moment was done by AI. The only thing that AI isn't doing is right now, right here, me. And
I
that's why
love
I
it.
keep telling people, you have to literally figure out what do you do best and then have AI do all the rest so you can scale faster.
I love it. All right. Until the next episode, everybody, thanks for tuning in. Got any questions? frankharita.com, and we'll put all the notes in the episode. Take care, everybody.
Peace out. Yeah, you'll get a ton of content off of that. People are going to be like, holy shit.